Welcome back, folks, to E-Fishing. Here's part 2 of our series on how to spool your reels. If you didn't check out our other video on how to get your line off quick, go check it out. It's going to be linked down below. So here we go. We've got our casting reel. It's completely clean. We took all the line off of it. We've got our line. This is a 15-pound P-line CX. But we're not going to put all of this line onto this reel. First thing we're going to do is we've got some 10-pound mono. We're going to put some backing on. There's no need really to fill your spool up all the way with this unless you're fishing for something like a king mackerel that's going to spool you, and you wouldn't be doing that with the bait caster anyway. You'd be doing that with a larger spinning reel. So anyways, here we go. We got our 15-pound line. We've got our Lew's bait casting reel. It's completely clean. The other thing I've got is I've got this Berkeley spooling station. I'm going to get that set up, and we'll be right back when we get that set up, and I'll show you how to do it. Normally I don't use this thing. I usually just leave all the reel on the rod and use this, or I've got something else that I'll show you how to use here in just a minute. But anyways, we'll be right back when I get all this spooled up. All right, folks, we're back. We're ready to start spooling our reel here. So we got our reel mounted into the holder. We've got the line over here with these tensioners on it, so it'll maintain just a little bit of tension. We're still going to hold it to keep the tension on it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our line and we're going to see if we can stick it through the this hole right here, our line guide on our reel, and we come back like that, and we got a little bit of line like that. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is, the easy thing to do is to take your line and stick it in one of these holes and stick it through and turn your reel to where it comes around like that, and now you got your line and you got it around the spool. So here's the knot that I do. Is this tag end, we're going to tie a figure-8 knot. So we're going to take our line like so. We're going to make our 8 like this, and then when you have your 8 made, pass that tag right back through the first loop, and you can see that it makes this little, it's like an 8. That's why they call it a figure-8. And we're just going to tie that tight, and then we're going to take our clippers and we're going to cut that flush like that. So we got a little knot on the end of our line. All right, so we're back to making our loop. So we got our main line here and our tag line. We're going to take our tag line and we're going to go around the main line. All right, like so. We're going to get that out of the way. So now we just have the loop and we got our tag line. So what you want to do is just make one simple overhand knot like so and pull this tight. All right, and when you pull that tight, that knot is going to keep that from pulling through. All right, and this is just a real simple slip knot. So when you take that and you're just going to pull it down into one of those grooves there, you can see how that fits real nice and snug. So now we're going to take this back and we're going to pull it through to where it's tight, and now we're just ready to start winding. So back to the reel. So there's a couple things you want to take note of on your reel. Is there's usually like some little grooves and stuff in here, and that's about how high up the spool we want to make it. Maybe just a little turn or two above that, but we want our backing line to come up to that. So from here to here is going to be our main fishing line. All right, folks, we have our reel. We're ready to go. We have our knot tied on to our spool. It's real small, so it's not going to be really bulky. We have our line, and when you spool a casting reel, you always want to make sure that your line is coming off the top of your spool. and that'll keep it from twisting. So here we go. We're just going to start winding now. So we're going to check both sides of our spool. We're just about there. We'll let this go back and forth 2 more times. 1, 2. And there we have our backing on. We'll straighten that out here in just a second. But I'm going to get the 15-pound line, and we're going to put it on the spooling station, and then I'll show you the knot that I used to connect the 2 lines together. So we'll be right back here in just a second. All right, let's put a knot in this line and tie these things together so that we can use this. So this is an Alberto knot that I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a loop with this, with the main line, our fishing line, like this. I'm going to take our backing line, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to pass it through that loop. And I'm going to hold that right there. And then I'm going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wraps. All right, up the line. And then I'm going to pinch that, and then I'm going to take this line and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to try to get one more in there. Well, maybe not. So I've got that. So I went wrap the line up 5 times and back 4. I could probably get another one in there, but I think it'll be all right. And then I'm going to take that little tag in right here, and we're going to pass that through that hole. So it's going back out the way the line went in. So there's our knot for right now. And I'm going to wet this. So then it's wet. I'm going to take both of our tag lines and I'm going to pull them together just like that. Now, if you do get a big fish on, this knot will hold and you can fight it. So say you're throwing a crankbait and a big striper hits it and heads out to deep water, you'll be all right. It'll hold for a little while anyways. So I just take my clippers and clip them things flush so we got a nice small knot on there. All right. So we got our, let's get our line straightened back up here. Roll that back on. Do a couple turns right there. I'll turn this back around. Get you all in view. So here we are. So notice there's a little looseness here. I'm gonna click this bail here. I'm gonna pull a little bit of this off. Close it to where it's tight, because I want these to be as tight as possible. I'm gonna pull, put a little bit of, we still got a wrap right there. See if we can get that out of there, because we don't want that kinked up way down there like that. All right, I think that's got it. And we're going to start winding again. So, back to your spool here. There's more things to look on your spool. See this little lip right here? When you get right below that, your spool is full. If you come up on top of this lip right here, you might get line that goes in behind your spool, or if your line swells up any, it may swell up and hit the bottom of the foot down here where your reel connects to the rod, and you may not be able to turn your reel. So just be cognizant of that. So here we go. Let's turn. So we're going to see that that knot is going to be right there on the edge, which is a good place for it. So we got enough tension on the spool, so we're just going to there we go. It's going to make a little noise, but we're going to keep on going. Just a little bit like that. There, that's better. I'll be about out of line on this spool. That's okay. See here how we're coming up close to the top of that spool? We're just about full. I want to adjust this tension just a little bit off. And I think we're going to go 2 more to 1, 2. We'll just take the rest of it, and if we have to, we'll cut it off. And there we go. We're all spooled up. There it is. We can find the end there. Pull that back off. And stick that back through the hole there. There we go. Fresh line. It's completely spooled up. You can see we're right here at the top of that lip of the spool. So we're completely full. So, okay folks, so if you don't have one of these spooling stations to hold your spool on like this, you can get one of these line boxes. This one's was made by Strand. I've had it for a little while, but there's other, I think Plano makes one, and Strand probably does too. But what you can do is you can take your line, it's got these little grooves in here that you can set it in like that, and then you can take your line, and it's got these holes in the front, and you just pass your line through, close the lid, and tie your line on to your spool or to your backing or however you're going to do it, and you just wind it on, and that'll just keep it on there like that. So another way, if you don't have either one of these and you got a buddy, you can take your trusty pencil, stick it through there, and have them hold it while you wind your line onto your reel. Doesn't always, you don't always have a buddy, but you know, sometimes that works. And another way you can do it, get yourself a 5-gallon bucket, throw your line down in that, stand back from it, tie your line onto your backing, on your spool, again, however you want to do it. Just stand back and then just let it come out of there. It's going to spin around and all that, but you know, it works. And probably the last way you can do it is if you're at the lake, take your spool line, just either fill your live well up with water and throw it in your live well and just let it float on. It'll float on the surface of the water, and do it that way, or just throw it over on the side of the lake and spool it up that way. It'll work. All right, folks. Hope this helps you out spooling up your casting reels. If you didn't check out the previous video on how to unspool your reels quick, check that one out. check the next video out on how to spool your spinning reels without any twist. Until then, we're out.